Welcome back, guys. This is the Bros Films channel, and I'm playing some more Wings of Duty. And today, I want to talk a little bit about realistic mode. So I'll be using one of the easiest planes to get started in realistic mode, and that's going to be the A5M Claud. And this plane is very weak, but it has a scope and an iron sight, and also you don't have to worry about gears or flap, and it's fairly easy to take off with. So it's a really good thing to, like a really good plane to get started in realistic mode. And I don't see a lot of people on realistic mode really often, so like for those of you who can't get into it or just don't know how to do it, I'm going to try to show you to the best of my abilities how to get started in it. And this plane's probably going to be your best bet because it's one of the easiest to take off with and stuff. So I'm going to hop into a realistic battle. And I'm not really going to do a huge plane overview on this, but I will do like a bit. Like I showed you some of the stuff and upgrades. There's not much to it. Like, you can only equip, like, 50-kilogram bombs, like, 2 of them, and it's not, you might as well get it if you can, but it's not really worth it. So I'm going to hop into one real quick. And I'm in one. So, you'll spawn on a carrier, and what you want to do is just put it in full throttle, put right rudder just a tad, and then put it in left rudder a bit, and then just let your speed build up until you get to the end. Once you're at the end, you can pull off a little bit, and you'll already be in the air. It's that easy. And then you don't want to just start making huge turns at the beginning because you'll stall. And stalling at this low altitude is very deadly. I mean, there's not a good chance. So just let your speed build up. And what's good about this plane is you have a really good back view. So you don't have to go in third person all the time because flying in third person in realistic mode is not easy. But sometimes it's really useful. Like I've used it a lot in this game because I was versing I don't even know what it was. It was like an F4U or a Hellcat or something. It was like a dark blue plane. I'm not really sure exactly what it is. But you can see that you have your scope and iron sight, which you can both use. And the iron sight's really easy to use with this one, unlike the Dauntless, where you got to use your scope only and you can kind of use your sight. And this plane is pretty good also because it can climb pretty well. It can also, dive okay. You can pull up from dives easily. And it's also not a bad turn fighter. This is a pretty average plane, I'd say. It's really good to get started with. So you have the speedometer to your left there. You have your pitch angle right there that's moving up and down. Then I can't really find where the gas is, so don't really worry about fuel or anything because, I mean, you can make it there and back pretty easily. As long as you're not flying for like an hour, you'll be fine. Like, I think it can go maybe 10 minutes, well, maybe more than 10 minutes. I'm not exactly sure. So yeah, this is the interior of the plane. It looks pretty good. It's pretty detailed, and I really like it. So yeah, I'm going to fly for a bit, and I'll tell you if I see anything. So right here, you can see a black dot. That's going to be another plane. And if you see this black dot, be prepared to engage in combat. And you might want to know how to identify your teammates from enemies or anything like that. So what you want to do is first you want to try to make quick assumptions because it can split second can be like life or death in this game. So what you want to do is if they're coming towards your home carrier, there's a good chance it's an enemy, and especially if it's flying at a high altitude like that. And then if you don't really, if there's like two of you fighting against one enemy, you might want to get close enough to it. And what's good about this plane is that you have a scope, so you can identify it from a range. And you just want to get a quick overview. Like if you go to Hangar and then go to US, you can look at all the US planes, and then you can go to Japan and look at all the Japanese planes. And if you're playing on US, it's a lot easier to identify a Japanese plane because they all look basically the same. They're either going to be white or tan or like a greenish camo type thing. But all of them will have the red, the rising sun on it, that red or orange circle. And as you can see here, as I'm approaching it, you can sort of see how he's like a greenish color. So this guy's gonna be a bit harder to identify. But I noticed, like I saw him as like, you can see his nose. It doesn't look like a Hind or a Zero or anything like that. He was a darker green, but not like a really dark green. So I know that he's the tier 2 version of the P-35. I don't know what it's called. But that's what he is, and you can sort of tell from the distance that too. Like he has a really narrow nose, and where like the other planes would be, a lot bigger. And also, as I pass by him, you could also see the star there, so that's how I know it's him. And I know that this guy has a better plane than me, and I don't really have much of a chance with him unless he's really bad. But usually if they have a paid plane, then they're pretty good. So that guy ended up running and leaving the game, so I didn't really bother with him. I just went to the base because he sort of logged out. So now I have to deal with these two planes here, which you can see. And they're enemies because you can see that they're taking off, and you wouldn't have a Japanese plane over there. But it looks like they're having trouble taking off because you can see the smoke coming out of their planes and everything. But one plane's still there, and we don't know if that's AA or a plane yet, so I'm going to use my scope to take a look. And it's a plane, because usually you don't want to... The AA and planes will look the same from a distance, but it's just a black dot, so just know that. And you don't really want to spawn kill, but if they're in a really good plane and you have a couple bombs you just want to release, I mean, you might as well just wound them or kill them, whatever it takes. Because unless you can dogfight them, but usually they'll be something better. And you might want to know how much to lead. Just lead more than you think you'll have to, and you'll probably hit them. So that guy didn't take off too well. So I noticed another plane here, and I can just look at this thing and tell it's a good one. I think this is either the F4U or Hellcat. I'm not exactly sure. But it's really fast. It can climb really well. I know I don't have a chance. So I'm going to kind of wound him or just take him out before he takes off. Because the second he takes off, I already know I'm finished. So I'm going to dive down. I'll show you how powerful his plane is compared to my bullets. So I'm leading on him, and as you can see, I'm kind of missing a bit. But then here is when I start getting hits. Lead more than you think you'll have to. You'll like it. I mean, so I hit him a bit, and I hit him quite a bit. And as you can see, he's kind of wounded. I think he lost control of his tail, tail, because he's kind of spinning. Because you can see he's climbing a lot. Well, he's not climbing a lot. He seems that he's not climbing as well as he could be. So he's kind of a sitting duck. And I was going to finish him off, but then I just got hit by flak later. I kind of spoiled it, but you can see the smoke coming out of his plane. That definitely means that something's missing from his plane. And he wants to land because he knows that I can finish him off very easily. So he's pulling up, trying to just maintain altitude without going out of control. Because when you're in this situation, it's really, really bad. Especially for him. And then you'll look here, I get hit by flak. Out of everything, I got hit by flak. It was kind of upsetting, because I would have killed a really good plane. Although I would have kind of cheated, because I did get almost like a spawn hit off of him. But I mean, he did take off before I really hit him, and he is in a really good plane. So I spawn back here now, and I'll see you guys there at the base probably, or unless I counter anything. So you can see right here that he did end up ejecting because he couldn't land the aircraft. And it's very hard to land it if you're wounded, so I don't blame him. So he had to eject, so I got a kill, but it doesn't count for me because I kind of died. So this is when he comes back for me, and if you're ever going head-on-head, which you should not do, you should always start shooting way before head. But don't go head-on-head because you will not win unless you're a dead shot and they're missing the whole time. Because they'll have... First of all, he has better armament, better armor. It's a done deal. He's gonna get me most likely. He's also faster and everything, so he can turn out of it if he needs to. So don't go head on head. Just know that, especially if you're in a Japanese plane. So now he's over here. He's wounded a bit because I hit him, but I hit him with 7.7 millimeter, and he's in a good plane. And he's very high up, so I'm just gonna keep on stalling. And if you ever stall, what you should do is you should just pitch down and put right rudder. I didn't do it there, but you might see me do it later. I'm not sure if I actually do it. But don't try pulling up. Just pitch down, put right rudder, unless you're in a fast plane. But this plane can usually recover pretty well. But if you're just not recovering by pulling up, just pitch down, right rudder, and also turn with it until you gain speed, then pull up, and you can check your speedometer for that. So I'm gonna dogfight with this guy for a little bit, and nothing's really gonna happen. No one gets the kill because he's focused on rocketing the carrier, and then he's also focused on me. And I'm having so much trouble tracking him because his blue blends in with the ocean really well, and I'm white, so the target. That sounded bad. And my plane's white, so he can spot me really easily. It also has that red circle on it, the rising sun. So whenever you're in this situation, try to get out of it, or just try to, get to the safety of the base, which I do here. Just get into AA range, wait for help to come, and eventually help does come, but they get killed. So yeah, so I'm gonna skip through this part because it's not really interesting unless you want to see shots fly by me, shots fly by him, me stalling, So yeah, I'll skip past this part, but you will see me eventually get him back. So eventually help does come and we get him. Oh, I didn't really do much. I only hit him like one time, barely. So I think this is gonna be a good time to show you how to land. So as you can see, I'm deploying my hook, which you can see at the bottom. It's green now. And then I'm going to reduce my speed because I don't want to go too fast, but I come in a bit too fast actually. So just slow down more and make sure you don't stall and hit the ocean. And for real, make sure your hook is on, otherwise you're going to die or run off unless you're going really slow. I've only landed it like one time without the hook on because I was trying to do it without the hook. I didn't know about the hook at the time. So I'm going to go down here. And you see I hit it a bit too fast. And there's another plane there, so I kind of just go over him, and then I get caught by the hook. And so it works out pretty well. And now this is where I have to turn around. I probably didn't actually have to turn around. I probably could have kept going forwards and then take off. And the reason why you want to land is because it'll rearm you, refuel you. You basically just get a new plane. It's pretty good. But I think this plane's fast enough to where you could do it. But I'm just going to do a little spin around and basically just play around with it. Go like low throttle and just put like right or left rudder the whole time. And if you run off, then just put full throttle and hope for the best. So know that. So I'm gonna turn around here real quick. Alright, so now that I turned around, I'm going to take off again. You can see there's another Claud next to me. And you can see how vulnerable it is. Like, it's a walking target, even though it's a weak plane. So now I'm going to head back towards the base, and I'll see if I can get any kills. And by the way, when I said I'd get him back, I just kill another plane that's the same thing as his. So right here is where I get really lucky. You can see a plane flying down over there. And I don't know it yet, but that plane's actually wounded. I'm not sure if it's wounded or if I wounded it when I dived in to get it. Yeah, it gets wounded when I come in for it. But I just got lucky. He didn't see me. He's going straight back to base. He's probably going to go rearm because he probably used all of his rockets. And I just get so lucky here. So now I'm going to start taking shots at him. And you want to leave more than you think you have to. And then just let him drive straight into the bullets. Because otherwise it's not going to work out for you. So you can see I hit his right aerial on off. And he's pretty desperate to land. He's trying to land. But he overshoots it because he freaks out the second I start opening fire on him. And I'm missing a lot here. And this is where you want to use your scope because, it's not, your iron sights, you can barely see him. And I don't think I'm leading too much here because you'll know when you hit him. It'll be like a white flash. And I might be hitting him, it just might not be showing. But I'm pretty sure I'm not hitting him. Well, maybe I am. Who knows? So just leave more than you have to and let him just drive in. Even though 1 or 2 bullets might hit, it's still better than none. So right here is where I start closing the distance. And this is where the hits start coming in. So I'm turning it right into him. I'm reducing speed because he's hoping I overshoot him. That's where I get his right wing, or his left wing, I mean. And he just gets his wing shot off and he starts scraping the ground. And that's actually a pretty cool explosion and a way to wrap up the episode. And now there's all this flak around me, and I know the flak will get me. You can see it's someone else. This dude's Trump wins. Kind of killed him. But, yeah, so I took out a pretty good plane, all by luck. And there's one thing I did not cover, and that's bombing. And bombing took me a while to actually understand, but eventually I got it. And I think the best technique is to dive bomb. Don't just go straight in for it. Also, avoid the bullets, or the AA guns, because that's 20 millimeters firing at you. And with the Claud, it only takes a couple to take it out. So just, stay clear of those. So what you want to do is you want to get really close to it and just dive down from a steep angle and hit it. And that got me 4 kills right there. It only said +1, but that was 4 ground kills. So that's a good way to rack up XPs by bombing. Especially in arcade mode if you have like one of those rocket things, or if you get the Dauntless as your starting plane. So I think you get like 500 gold for completing the tutorial. And so if you have trouble with the tutorial, this video might help you, so who knows. So now I'm just going to end it off with a Kamikaze because I don't feel like going back. So yeah, here we go. And of course I go through the boat, and it didn't do any damage. But still, that's a pretty good, way to go. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it helps you play in realistic mode and also understand how the Claud works. Because I know a lot of people, the Claud, it's not the best plane, but it's a really good starting plane. It's definitely good for for players who just start playing the game. And then eventually you can move to the P-35 if you want to be on the American side. You just need to get the feel for flying. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Here's what the plane looked like in real life, in case you're wondering.